If you've ever been to the shop before, you know that Nick's garage is where power gets made. But once in a while, Nick opens his door to a different kind of job. It's a four-door, straight-six Swedish car with English carburetors.
Wow. I know this is not American muscle, but I couldn't say no to him, but he just wants me to get it started after 16 years in storage.
This was Sean's grandparents' car. It's been in the family since it was brand new. Sean has been the owner for more than the last 2 decades, but in all that time, he's only been able to get it on the road for 4 or 5 days. The rest of the time, it's been in storage.
Volvo 164. Oh, look at the way it closes, it sounds like a solid car. Wow.
When he finally decided to get it back on the road, no other mechanic in town would even look at it. But his story touched Nick's heart. Sean's grandparents took this car everywhere. Groceries, vacations, the hospital. His grandfather passed away first. And then, after his grandmother passed, his family was trying to figure out what to do with the car. Sean, then 8 years old, said he wanted it, and unbelievably, his parents agreed to keep it for him.
There you go. Sorry? That's you? You gotta be kidding.
With the car?
Wow. Wow, that's a nice picture.
He's kind of extraordinary to listen to an 8-year-old.
Of course.
I mean, you know,
and they did.
And they did.
Wow.
So the deal was it was in storage, dry, perfect dry storage. And then when I was 16 years old, I worked that summer for my uncle in the country. And then I sprung the car. And then my father and I got it going. And it meant like rebuilding the carbs and redoing the brake lines. And we kind of got it going. Got it going, but it was never balanced. You know, there was always it would struggle and you'd have to kind of, you know, anyway, you'd get it going, but it took a while. And I never had it inspected. I got temporary plates that would, like, I'd drive around for 4 days and, like, I had it insured. I'd drive around for 4 days, hope the cops wouldn't, like, you know, bust me, which it was legit, but technically you're supposed to be going, you know, from your house to the garage, right?
Right.
So anyway, I'd get these 4-day permits, but I never got it inspected. Then the brake line went, and then, like,
And ever since then it's been in storage.
Yeah, because life gets in the way.
You know,
I was like a college student. I didn't have the means to kind of like...
This brings me back some history. Back when I was young, I was just a young boy, and I used to always come out in the back alley, and it's my parents' home neighbor, and I used to look at them work on these old cars every day. I used to sit there and enjoy, and you know, there were like, what, this mid-60s Vauxhalls, Envoy, yeah, 2 of them. I like to watch him work with them, and ever since then I was fascinated with cars. You know, I used to see him turn the key, then I see the fan turning, and then I see it working on its own, and I go, wow, this is fabulous. And then he would take me for a ride around the streets, up and down the streets.
Yeah.
And now I'd like to say with you.
There's something magical.
And this is from your grandparents.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice. You know, this is something different. This is a Volvo. We're not talking about GM, Ford, Chrysler, American Motors. This is a Volvo made in Sweden. 1970, of course, one of my favorite years. And as you can see, this is a very simple car. 4-door sedan. I'm not a Volvo guy, but you know what? This is pretty nice. It's pretty unique. Very simple. Look, it's got like, not like these modern cars. You got switches all on the flasher levers and this. This is just unique. Look, you got a shifter here, automatic on the column. Flasher, only for flasher. and everything else is on the dash. Not like today, you have everything on the steering column or on the steering wheel. So this is what's unique. This is what I like about these old cars. It's got a red leather interior, or should I say burgundy color. Got a console with a lock on it, different. It's gonna be fun to work with this thing. From the quality I see that the gauge on the body, the sheet metal, is pretty thick. I love the way the door opens and closes. Look at that. Here we go, 1970, and the car sounds solid. Look at that. The one feature I love about this car is this hard plastic steering wheel. Look at it. It's got no cracks whatsoever. And, of course, to press the horn, it's got a rim blow, like they call it back in Chrysler. Look at that. This is awesome. I've always loved these hard plastic steering wheels. Simple, nothing else on them, just put the ring for the horn. You can't get more simple than that. 6-cylinder line, no air conditioning, no fuel injection, just 2 little Zenith carburetors on this thing. It's got a distributor. I believe it's got points in there. And what really surprises me is this little belt. Look at that. What is it, a 1/4-inch belt for the alternator? I've never seen that before. But then again, it worked. Built by Sweden. That's what they had on their Volvos. And of course, I'm sure the alternator's jammed or the water pump or something after 17 years sitting. I've never done research on Volvos, but it's always the first time. It's gonna be interesting. Something new to look at. So my job is to remove the valve covers, hand turn this engine, if it does turn, to make sure that every valve closes before we do anything to turn the crank over with a starter or anything. So before we get in any process of just trying to put gas in it and get it going, we have a lot of things to go through before we get it turning. But you know what? I want to get it going. I'm not doing a full restoration on this. All my customer wants to do is get this thing running, pass inspection, make it roadworthy, safe, and enjoy the ride. And if any of you viewers are from Sweden and have any expertise on this Volvo that you can help me out and comment on, I appreciate it. So if you have any comments on it, anything you can help me with, throw them on my channel, and I'm going to read them up, and then we'll take it from there. I don't know much about Volvos, but I know one thing. Like, this piece does not belong on this car. Everything else is original to this car, but not this piece. But anyways, for now, I'll just leave it there, and my job is to get it running. Look at that. This is unique. I love it. This car has practically nothing missing, but I figured out one missing link, and it's right here, the gas tank. Volvos are built like a battleship. Here it is. Gray, just like a battleship. Battleship gray. Here it is. Here's the genuine color of this Volvo. Built like a destroyer. So let's challenge this 1970 Volvo 164 and get it back on the road for our client. When was the last time you saw a Volvo 164 1970 on the road? I haven't. This is who I am. To bring old cars back to life again.
If you have a moment, please swing by Nick's online store, where you can have a look at some of our merch and support the channel.